In this video we're going to have a peep into the world of special effect miniatures and how they can be used to depict a series of building demolitions. This TV commercial was produced just prior to September 11. I'm not even sure if the commercial made it to air. To explain the core principle used here, let's look at this toy. Tension on the internal string holds the giraffe up. Once released, the giraffe falls down. To prove the principle here, a very basic steel model is made and tested. Then a larger all elements test is done. Part of the facade is added. A third large-scale model is filmed and a test composition is done. What's important to remember, there's a very simple process at play enabling controlled demolition. A series of pyrotechnic tests were done to establish a look which suited the miniature environment. A brief flash event was used to simulate the high explosive charges. After an intense period of manufacturing, the miniature buildings are ready to be erected. Each building is a representation of a real building on a city skyline. Even though these are miniatures, there was nothing small about them. Their construction required strength to stand up, while retaining the ability to collapse into small component pieces. The facades in each building use different methods of model work to emulate the full-size buildings. The viewer will never have long enough to study the buildings before the collapse. What's most important here is how the miniature building looks as it is collapsing. The facade needs to act in a way which sells the demolition. The blue glass skyscraper was the largest model. It used a very different facade method to accomplish the required look. The big challenge in this type of model work is choosing the correct material to sell a look without disrupting the required effect. It's demolition time. One by one the buildings are demolished. Each had its own character when surrendering to gravity. All were shot with high-speed film cameras. The small blue flashes are tiny pyrotechnic charges fired at millisecond delays. The block of units looked amazingly real. The cloud of white is liquid nitrogen. This gives the look of dust plumes associated with building demolition. And the big blue giant also put on a stunning performance. What you're witnessing here is the culmination of weeks of work, but remember it started with that very simple test. Here's how the finished effects sequences looked in the final commercial. Just a reminder that not everything you see is computer generated. Now you have an insight into miniature building demolition.